Hello, hello. My name is Jake Ray. I am a certified hypnotist. I practice regression and progression hypnosis as well as QHHT. I'm a level 2 practitioner of that technique. Definitely feel free to check out my website, linked down in the description box below, if you would like some more info on my practice or if you'd like to reach out to me. I do free consultations, love to connect. Today's topic, though, is going to be around mediumship and connecting to the deceased, connecting to those who have transitioned beyond this physical realm through hypnosis. And I think that this is a really fascinating and unique way that hypnosis can provide information, provide connection, provide understanding. And I wanted to explore that today and talk a little bit more about how I've seen that come up in my practice and the ways that might be helpful for you, might be useful information for you. So, before we get into that, definitely comment below. Let me know if you have any experience with mediumship or if you would be interested in connecting with a loved one in this way through hypnosis. Let me know down below. I would love to know your experiences or know what you're interested in. So the topic for today is going to be split up into two primary different ways that I've seen the energies of deceased loved ones come through in a session, the two different ways that I've seen this connection established. And those two ways are either one during the regression experience itself, the second would be connecting through the higher self or subconscious discussion. First, I wanted to talk about the regression experience. So, during that experience, during that portion of the session, connection to the deceased typically happens on the spirit side, sometimes in more of an astral or non-physical space, but typically it's when we're in that realm, we're in that space. Um, I understand this primarily from that quantum perspective, understanding that this connection is easier in those places because of the quantum connections, because of the entanglement between matter in these states, in these realms. So most often when this connection happens, it's after the soul has died in that lifetime. It's in those moments typically that I've seen the deceased come through. What I will say though is that most often the clients connect to that past life version of this soul, of this loved one. Working with your higher self, working with your subconscious in this way, it allows us to have that perspective of understanding all of your lifetimes, all of the soul relationships that you have. And so that allows for us to recognize those people in those past life situations. I've definitely seen that this sort of connection happens oftentimes when there was tough lessons being learned by those souls in that lifetime. That spirit side connection can be a way of finding resolution, finding deeper understanding from that soul perspective, rather than being mired in the personality of that incarnation. So one example of this connection after physical death that I've seen in my practice was I had a client experiencing a lifetime. She died in that lifetime, and then afterwards, as she was reflecting back on that life, she actually encountered her husband from this current lifetime, who was had a soulmate connection with her, and they were viewing her lifetime kind of almost as if they were on top of like a mountain. That was how she was describing it, like looking down on a field of like patchwork squares, and that those were the different parts and scenes and situations in her lifetime, and the love between those souls was very palpable and beautiful to see, and it was a really interesting way that, again, in that spirit realm, there was connection between souls. And of course, this was a situation where her husband, her partner in this lifetime, was still alive, but connecting to that past life incarnation version of him. I've also had where clients have connected to more groups of past loved ones after they've died. So typically, when a soul dies, they have that separation from the physical body, and there's usually some time there where they're they're staying close to the body. They're viewing what's happened. They're viewing kind of the aftermath of the death. And it's in those moments oftentimes when loved ones will show up, where the souls of those who are closest to you show up to help guide you to uh, the next step, whether that be a resting place, whether that be another area of the spirit realm. And so that's oftentimes a moment where there's just so much love from the client. They can experience for these other souls. They can feel the love coming from those souls. Is really beautiful to be able to witness, and an amazing experience for the client themselves too. And these sorts of reunions with loved ones who have passed, typically we don't get to consciously view or experience these from our human perspective. We have the amnesia of Earth incarnation that helps us to live better in the physical, but it means that we don't often have those conscious memories of those interactions from past lifetimes. And within this lifetime, it's usually at that point of death when we have those reunions again. So I think it's really cool to be able to experience these moments under hypnosis while you're still alive physically, and to be able to experience and feel what that's like, and to connect with those whom we love, whether they are still here in the physical in this lifetime, or if they have transitioned. And I've seen it both. All right, so then kind of the second part of this, or the second way that I've seen folks connect with loved ones through hypnosis, is when we are connected with your subconscious, when we're conversing with your higher self. And I would say that this is the primary way that this happens. It's usually more so focused on them from the soul perspective, more connecting with their higher self, or connecting with that soul from this lifetime. When we connect to your higher self, when we connect to your subconscious, that part of you is still tapped into source, or tapped into the greater collective. And so that allows for these connections with other souls, and with other facets of source, right? When we look at it from that higher dimension, from that higher perspective, that higher vibration, we are all one, we are all connected. And that allows for these sorts of experiences, these sorts of connections to be made. So this is certainly something that can happen spontaneously, like during the regression experience. If you come to a session with a question about someone who has passed on, maybe it's an unresolved relationship, maybe it was something you wish you had said, or something you wish you had addressed with someone, or maybe you just had a challenging relationship with them in this lifetime, and you want to find some resolution, or whatever the reason might be. When you come with that question, and when we pose that question to your higher self, they are tuning into that person's energy, to that soul's energy. And sometimes that allows for that soul, for that being to come through. I had a client who came with a question about someone who had died, and they were looking for some understanding. They wanted to ask a few questions of this person. This client actually ended up channeling directly the words of this person who had died. When we asked for this person to come through, when we asked to speak with this person, they chose to speak directly through the client. And they even went so far as to have this client sit up, and because that was more comfortable for them to speak. And it was a very wild experience to witness. There's never a dull day in hypnosis, and each session is unique. This was a really fascinating experience where that energy was so strong. That person came through and spoke through my client. Generally speaking, that's not always how the information comes through. Certainly if someone is open to that experience, of course, a reminder, you always maintain your free will within a session, and no entity is going to channel through you that you're not open to letting. Sometimes these sorts of things can be a little uncomfy for people. And I like to remind you that you've always got your free will. You're always in control within the session. I did also want to bring in one more aspect, which is that I've seen this with pets as well, which was really interesting. I had a client once who had a very beloved cat that he had died recently, and she wanted to know how he was doing. She wanted to check in. She wanted to see, is he going to reincarnate? If you see my animal incarnation video, you'll know that animals are a part of this cycle as well. All energy is a part of this cycle. She, through the course of this session, connected with his energy, connected with that soul, and found out that yes, indeed, he was going to be coming back, and that he would be reincarnating into another body, and that he'd be joining her again. In this lifetime. So that was a really beautiful moment. And I think that it illustrates the ways that, loved ones don't just have to be other human incarnations. They can be animals, they can be our star family, they can be ET ancestry. There can be so many different ways that we can connect with our soul family, our loved ones, whether they be human or otherwise. Which I think brings me to the why. Why would anyone want to do this? Why would anyone want to connect with loved ones, connect with the deceased, connect with the dead through hypnosis in this way? I most often find, just as I'm sure many mediums do, that folks come usually looking for resolution, or to make amends with someone, to understand, more of their connection. Maybe something happened towards the end of their life. A lot of different information we might be looking to gain through this method. And I think that mediumship is a wonderful way. Going to a psychic, going to a medium is a wonderful way to find this connection. But I think what makes hypnosis a wonderful way to do this, and an amazing tool to use, is that it gives you that power, and it gives you kind of the driver's seat in that situation. You're going deep within, and it allows you to personally connect, and allows you to, like I said, even converse with, hug your deceased loved one in your mind's eye, of course, not in the physical. I think that is what makes hypnosis such a powerful, such a wonderful way to connect. And connecting and partnering with your higher self, working with them to connect to the deceased, allows for even deeper understanding and deeper resolution than when you're consciously awake and working through someone else, working through a medium, working through a psychic. So I love hypnosis because of the personal empowerment that it gives folks, and the ways that it allows you yourself to access information, access answers, to connect in this way. Not everyone feels that they have that gift of mediumship in this lifetime. I believe that everyone does at some level, and that everyone is able to connect to the beyond to some degree. But whether or not that's an active gift in this lifetime, might mean that mediumship is outside of your scope of comfortability, and hypnosis can be a wonderful tool to help guide you to a space, guide you to a mindset that allows for that connection. So all in all, I love hypnosis. I love exploring different realms and different planes through this work. I love the ways that hypnosis can help people find not only answers in healing, but also deeper connection, find resolution, find answers with deceased loved ones, with those that have passed on, to connect in this different way. So let me know down below in the comments if this topic resonated with you. Are you interested in mediumship or in the hypnosis side of mediumship? Who would you connect with if you had the chance? Is there a loved one that you would like to connect with in this way? Let me know. Otherwise, if you liked the video, definitely hit that like button. It really does help. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. And if you feel so inclined, share this video with someone else that you think would like this content. All right, all of the love and the light to you all, and bye for now.